Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez at the Alert Center. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's First Alert 6 Scam School time, and we are talking with the Better Business Bureau's Josh Planos to learn a little bit more about the top ways that you can avoid getting scammed for 2026. We still are in January, and so there's still a great way to kind of let everybody know that, the scams are out there and scammers are getting more diligent in the ways that they try to attack people online and through phishing, etc. So I will introduce Josh Planos here from the Better Business Bureau. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Jacqueline.
Of course. So we have a list of 5 different tips as far as, small business owners when it comes to making sure that they don't get scammed. So can we go through the first 3?
Sure. Yeah, what we did is we compressed all of the reports that we received from 2025 to give small business owners largely an expectation of what it is that's out there. And hopefully with that information, they can equip themselves and their colleagues with the tools and resources needed to make 2026 a scam-free year.
Yeah, that would be great. And I always think, why do we do the scam school all the time? It's because people still are falling for these scams. Scammers are getting more creative. They're getting more in depth with how to utilize different facets of the internet and social media, etc. So this is why we do this, to keep you at home safe. So the first one, let's see, verify all payment changes by phone. Why is that important, Josh?
Yeah, I think received some sort of email in the past saying, hey, our bank account number has changed, or we need some money wired immediately. And while a lot of the time we're able to bypass those and spot them as scam-related activity, we do see reports here at the BBB of small business owners who frankly just inadvertently clicked or assumed it was an authentic, sincere form of communication. And really, something that folks have been doing for decades is still foundationally important to prevent needing to go through this experience. And that's simply picking up the phone, calling your vendor back using the number that you've always used. In some cases, you want to avoid actually the number that is included in that email. We have heard of business owners that have lost many thousands of dollars because they trusted an email that looked perfect, and unfortunately it was a scammer behind the email. So if you know that vendor, you should have a mode of contact for them. Pick up the phone, have a conversation with them before you just send over what amounts to a lot of money in a lot of what's been reported to us. So have a conversation before you wire that money. At least get down to the bottom of who it is communicating with you.
Yeah, no, that is really great advice, sage advice as always. So next we're going to say never let one person handle money alone. What exactly do you mean by that? And then the second part, I guess, is why.
Yeah, typically we'd like to have 2 sets of eyes on the money. Even if you've only got 3 employees, you want to make sure that the person who is approving a bill isn't always the same person sending the payment. It's like having a buddy system for your bank account. You remember buddy systems from the K-12 education space.
Oh yeah.
The same practice is useful in the business sphere. This protects you from outside scammers and keeps everybody honest internally. It's just a system of checks and balances, really, to ensure that both ends of the payment coin are moving in the right direction and are accountable to one another.
All right, Josh. And then thirdly, train your staff on phishing quarterly. So starting out, again, another 2-part question, so bear with me here. But what is phishing and why training quarterly? That seems like a lot of time to spend on phishing.
Yeah, phishing is really any mode of communication that attempts to get information from someone. So there is, SMS messaging or smishing. There's phishing that typically results in, email communication or phone calls where people are just looking for, morsels of information that can be used against you. Unfortunately, phishing was the most popular form of scam-related activity that we monitored in 2025. It really did explode because of how valuable this information now is, from everything from dual-factor authentication to really, the nuts and bolts of your business. So that avenue has really exploded. It's really important that you get people up to speed on what that type of communication looks like. Even just spending 15 minutes every few months showing your team real examples of phishing emails or phone scams is the equivalent of like a fire drill, right? You hope you never need it, but you'll be glad that you practiced it.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks for explaining it that way, right? So you know what to do in the event of an emergency. You're prepared, so that's important. All right, Josh, anything else you wanted to add today, this afternoon?
Just tread carefully with any urgent communication you receive. I know that that is very effective nowadays because people feel like they need to remedy the situation right away. Scammers use that in every scam that they've ever put together, right? From romance fraud to business invoice scams. If somebody is forcing you into a situation where it requires urgency, as difficult as it sounds, it's really important that you take a step back, maybe go for a walk, do a little bit of research, and you'll have a much better attitude and perspective on the matter.
Yeah, very well said. Thank you so much for your advice, as always, Josh, from the Better Business Bureau. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
All right, we'll see you next week. All right, guys, so if you are just joining us here at the Alert Center, we were just discussing the Better Business Bureau's top 5 tips for small businesses to avoid getting scammed in 2026. So we did review those. We'll have those for you, a shorter version of today's live interview at the Alert Center during our 4:30 p.m. broadcast. Now, meantime, did want to take a quick look outside for you. We're transitioning to weather now. Here's a live look from our Blackstone camera. Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord says expect increasing clouds out there today. It is sunny. You can see the sun shining, but the cloud cover is coming in. A high of 32. He says tonight cloudy and breezy, a 20% chance of snow in northern counties with a low of 15. Then this is a good shot today. Let's take a live look from our Northeast First National camera at the Kiewit Luminarium. You can see those ice chunks floating in the river behind the building there. Wednesday, we can expect partly cloudy conditions, a 20% chance of snow to our north. Rusty says very windy out there with a high of 44, though. So I don't know. Typically, when we say windy in Omaha, that means bundle up. But 44, not too bad. And then Thursday, let's take a live look now from 90th and Dodge. Here we go. Traffic apparently flowing smoothly. You can still see the sunshine through the clouds out in this shot as well. Thursday, mostly cloudy and breezy in the evening with a high of 35. So it seems like we just have to get through today with our 32-degree high, and then tomorrow on Wednesday with a high of 44. So get ready for some shorts out there, right? For those of you who can brave the Omaha temperatures. So 44, we'll take it. Not exactly summertime, but still something to look forward to. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us at the Alert Center this afternoon. We will have more, as I mentioned, on our First Alert 6 Scam School topic from the Better Business Bureau during our 4:30 p.m. broadcast today. But stay tuned for our broadcast at 3 with our Dave Zavolinsky. We'll see you then.